Next is Kristen Pruitt from Wiley.
Hi. Hello. All right. I am going to take you through my journey, how I landed here. So everything before 30, okay, so I sort of, I got my internship at Wiley when I was 30 years old. I was an English literature major at the City College of New York, which is a fabulous institution in Harlem. And I got a Mellon Mays undergraduate fellowship, which helps to support underrepresented students to get into and through PhD studies. Fantastic opportunity. So I spent a summer at the University of Chicago learning how to do graduate level research, and I started to investigate the ideas of social and cultural capital in the context of post-colonial Caribbean social theory and all of these, fun, interesting, vague terms. And I really fell in love with that. Following summer, I was at UC Berkeley continuing my research. Really digging into Foucault and Bourdieu and Aimé Césaire and Frantz Fanon and Jacques Roman and all of these fabulous, brilliant thinkers. And really where I was going was towards social theory. That's really what I wanted to do. But you cannot, in fact, get a PhD in social theory. You can get a PhD in English literature, and you can go to either Princeton or UC Berkeley for your PhD, where you can have a concentration. So that was sort of the first indication that maybe graduate school wasn't going to be right for me at the time. I'm also a mom, and so I didn't know that I would be able to commit another 5 to 7 years as a student and a mom. It's, we don't have like super fun vacations that way. So at the same time at City College, I was part of their publishing certificate program, which is another fabulous program. Walter Mosley actually started it. But a lot of what I learned in those courses were from commercial publishers. So folks from Simon & Schuster and Hachette and Penguin, all those fabulous places would come and teach these courses, but there wasn't anybody from academic publishing. So it just sort of dawned on me one day when I realized that I wasn't really going to pursue graduate school, that I should maybe ask about academic publishing, because part of the publishing program, the last piece is an internship. So when I was looking for internships, looked at OUP and looked at Wiley, and I was very fortunate to be hired on as an intern for Wiley's AGU, American Geophysical Union, portfolio, and in the editorial department. And then after my internship ended, I interviewed for about 5 different editorial assistant roles in Wiley, mostly like in the higher education department, where they publish textbooks. And finally, I got an interview for an editorial assistant in the journals business. And I was so excited, and so I went in and I had to do this like virtual interview, and I got the job, and I was like so ecstatic. The next day, HR calls me, and she's like, so about that job, the society decided they're not actually gonna pay half your salary, so we're gonna need to rescind that offer. And I was like, no, I'm gonna no. So she was like, but I've got another interview lined up for you. So I was like, okay, fine. This is going to be like my 6th interview, but I'm very persistent. So I went for it, and this time I was sort of double teamed by Alan Molina and Tiffany McCarahan, who I still consider mentors. Tiffany's moved on to IEEE. Alan is very successful now at Wiley, and they hired me on. And so I've been on the editorial track ever since. At some point, Wiley decided that our journals business was going to focus separately on Wiley-owned journals and society-owned journals. And I decided that I would prefer to be on the society-owned journal side. I like the extra layer of complexity. I like the sort of client aspect of it. And I like the idea of regularly interacting with academic societies, with learned societies. And so now I manage 11 journals that are owned by different societies, very different, from eukaryotic single-celled organisms to marine mammals, and also like the Institute of Food Technologists. So I'm about to go on a fabulous trip to Malaysia at the end of the month to hang out with tropical biologists. And last fall I was in Halifax with the marine mammal scientists. So one of the things that I really love about what I do is the ability to interact with so many different brilliant people, to learn so much, and to be a part of academia without having to actually get a PhD myself. Maybe I will still one day. It's still, in the mix, but for now, I'm really loving that this has all kind of come together in such a sort of serendipitous way, and it's a fabulous community. I'm really glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Great.